Let's talk about Arsenal dropping points at Villa Park. I mean, it was going to be a tough game anyway. Even Arteta knew that it was not going to be an easy game for them to get points. If they actually were able to get 1 point, it was going to be a good game for them and good results. But then they know that has been happening actually in the past few seasons where Villa is just the team that's give them the difficulties when it comes to their title run. But now we want to look at the Villa first because the way Villa line up in this game, they decided that, you know what, we're going to play a narrow game where we're making sure that we pack the midfield so that Arsenal midfield couldn't move. Because if you notice in the first half, Rice couldn't move with the ball. Odegaard was just out of the game. Zubimendi was trying to pop in there and there, but it was just happening at that time because I think what they have, they decided to put in the guys in the middle of the park, Kamara, Onana, Talisman, and then on the wings, they decided to use Rogers and McGinn, which are actually midfielders, but now they were playing more of the hybrid role, and that was causing problems for Arsenal defensively because those guys, when they were coming in, they were just allowing space for the fullback, Matisse and also Cash. That's why Cash ended up getting a goal in the first half because they were getting a lot of space. And also Eze is not a good person that you can rely on when it comes to defense. And I think most of the time when this game was going in the first half, Arteta maybe kind of have like an idea that what am I going to do just to change this game? And I understand they were playing this game without their backline, obviously. Like I will say that Gabriel and Saliba are actually one of the best defensive line in the Premier League right now, and you can argue Europe as well. But then my thing is, it was not a game that was lost actually in the defense. The game was lost in the middle of the park because Kamara was keep on getting a lot of spaces and then was keep on moving with the ball. Onana was there to play rough, making sure that he's hard on those tacklers. And then Tielemans was trying to find space in the third half because Rogers was more on the left, even though like he was playing inside, like in the left-hand side, because he was allowing the space also for Matisse on the side to just go around and bring those crosses. And I think it was a good game for Watkins as well, even though it wasn't profitable in terms of goals. I think he had like 2 chances where I think by his standard was supposed to bury those, but it didn't happen. Now let's come to Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal coming into this game, I had an idea that they are going to suffer. It's the fixture that they know that is always hard for them. And I think I kind of have like an idea that maybe the defense will be a problem. Actually, the defense wasn't a problem. It's just that in the middle of the park, that Villa midfielder was just packed. Arsenal couldn't run. But now we're moving into the second half. This is where actually Arsenal now is trying to take charge of the game. And I want to tell you, when they coming back from the first half, when then Odegaard was playing more on the left, like he usually play when he's playing with Saka, bringing in those balls in the box, like it crosses from the right-hand side. And I think that kind of football was causing problems for Aston Villa, and they ended up equalizing. After equalizing, I don't know what usually happens with teams. Teams, they will play a normal game if it's not. When the other team score, the other team now will try and go more and try to score goals. And I feel like it's one of those things where if you go to them at that time, you are vulnerable now with the back and you can just create more chances for them. Because there were times actually where Villa was trying to catch them on the counter, but it didn't work. But I'm saying it's one of those things where you have to think about it. Why don't you become the team that scores first? So that you let them chase you and you can find the vulnerability of that team at the back. But then Arsenal was trying to play that, and then they were playing very well in the second half. And I mean, it's one of those games where I think around the 75th minute to the 80th minute, Villa started actually to getting more on the ball, moving the ball, just rotating the ball a lot, and then bringing Malen as well was a little bit help of them because he got that speed. Because Watkins is just a guy that can hold the ball for you, and he can run a little bit, but he's not a guy that can run with the ball. Doesn't have that stamina to do so. But then Malen, when he came in, he kind of bring that kind of like movement at the back, making the 2 defenders, which actually are not actually top defenders at Arsenal, but then he was just making them work. So when I say is, I think Arteta now is going to be a problem for him because when City wins, if they win their game, they're going to close the gap to 2 points. And then when they close the gap to 2 points, it's already a problem because Aston Villa as well, they closed the gap to 3 points. And still the first half of the season. Now they're starting letting these goals in. And at some point, I was believing the hype that these guys might actually break the Chelsea record, even though I knew that that's the hardest record to break, especially in the modern football. But then I thought maybe when they were like 11 games, 3 goals, and I was like, these guys are actually cooking, they might do that. So on that, we might say maybe because of the injury of the back line, that's why they couldn't do it. But either way, I didn't believe they would actually do it. But at some point, I thought, wait a minute, maybe these guys might do something. But I feel like Arteta needs to go back to the drawing board. I think it's one of those games when you want to win the Premier League that you need to win. Those are the games that are tougher for you. Those are the games that decide the championship for you. Because now, it's 3 points for them, and then it's going to be 2 points for City if they win their game. If they don't win their game, it will remain 5, and then Chelsea might win their game as well, and then it will remain 6. So the title race is on. It's not going to be an easy one for Arteta, and I mean, he needs to go back to the drawing board, try to make sure that he balances the squad, they come back with the result on the next game, because it's not going to be an easy game for them. But on the other side, Unai Emery, I think it's an experience, man. Every time he's playing Arteta, doesn't care like if Arteta is coming on like a hot run form. This guy just managed to know what actually to play against the team. Like, he's the guy that I respect, that knows how to play against Arteta. And I think Arteta is more of like an experience thing, because Unai Emery has been around in like Europe winning things. So I think that was an experience kind of move with the team. But they've been actually doing well, winning I think 7 on the row now for their games in all competition. I think it's a good thing for them, Aston Villa, and I think they will do well going forward. But then, yeah, Arsenal dropping the point is not a good looking thing for them. But if you want to add something on the comment, make sure that you comment below. You can subscribe, like, share this channel, and make sure that you keep on watching these videos, man. Click that bell so that you don't miss some of the videos we're doing, and then I'll see you on the next one.